Hey Run Junkies, the Walt Disney World Marathon Weekend Virtual Event Guide just came out, and for those of you who were waiting with bated breath, you know who you are. It's about time, so let's take a look, shall we? Okay, before I get started, since these event guides have so much information in them and the Walt Disney World Marathon Weekend is the largest event on the circuit, I am splitting this topic into at least 2 different videos. I might even do a third by the time this is all over. But today I will be covering the Expo, spectator information, race safety and etiquette, and everything that's kind of outside the races themselves. Tomorrow though, I will have a course map walkthrough for all races, as well as start and finish information and transportation for the races themselves. So please subscribe and come back tomorrow for that. This is a very exciting event weekend because it does celebrate the 25th anniversary of the Walt Disney World Marathon and the 5th anniversary of the Dopey Challenge. If you participated in the 2017 Walt Disney World Marathon Weekend, there have been some changes from that event to this event, including the layout of the expo and some race start times. So if you are a veteran of this event, check through the virtual event guide and make sure you're noticing what those changes are. Okay, social media is a great way to keep up with what's happening at Run Disney, especially during race weekend. And if you don't already follow Run Disney on Twitter, I strongly encourage you to do so. This is how they communicate the up-to-the-minute news, and if there are any major changes, they will tweet those out. For example, many of us found out via Twitter that the 2017 half marathon had been canceled due to weather. Hopefully that won't happen this year, but just in case, follow Run Disney on not only Twitter, but also on Instagram. You might also share your pictures via social media using these hashtags. There may also be more race-specific hashtags as we get closer to the event, so keep an eye out for those as well. The bulk of the rest of this video is really going to talk about the Expo, which takes place at ESPN Wide World of Sports. Now getting there, you can either drive in, but there's also bus service from all resort hotels to the ESPN Wide World of Sports complex. Those buses will start running 30 minutes prior to the Expo open and will run 30 minutes after the Expo closes. I'm just gonna throw this out there, you guys. First of all, the Expo is huge. It's overwhelming and sometimes it can be stressful. Have a plan, know where you need to go before you get in there. The Run Disney Health and Fitness Expo is open from noon to 8 p.m. on Wednesday, January 3rd. If you are participating in the 5K or the Dopey Challenge, you must pick up your bib on Wednesday. If you purchase the race retreat ahead of time, you do have early access from 10 to 11 on Wednesday to the Expo. The Expo hours are as follows for the remainder of this weekend. Thursday from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., Friday 9:30 a.m. to 7 p.m., and Saturday from 9:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. There are no Expo hours on Sunday. Regardless of what time you expect to arrive at the Expo, expect traffic delays. There is only one road that goes in and out of ESPN Wide World of Sports. That really does add to the congestion, so try to take the buses if at all possible. But in order to fully grasp the scale of the Expo, let's go to the whiteboard. There is only one way in or out of the ESPN Wide World of Sports complex, and that is via Victory Way. You will park or get off of your bus, then you embark on a forced march all the way up these stairs where you are funneled into an area where you have no escape route. However, keep going. When marching through hell, you don't stop. But you will find an ally in this fracas, and although it feels you are walled in on all sides, there will be one man, one shining beacon of hope in an otherwise dark and terrifying place. This man may have a name, but more importantly, he has a megaphone. When it seems all is lost and there is no hope, stop and listen to this man. He will guide you out of the melee. This is the HP Fieldhouse. Dopey and Goofy Challenge runners will find their bibs and t-shirts here, as will the Runner's World VIP Challenge runners. You will also find pre-purchased commemorative items. If you bought it online ahead of time, it will be there. You will also find runner relations for the 5K, 10K, and kids races, as well as the Goofy and Dopey challenges. Most importantly, this is where you will find the Run Disney merchandise store. This is the aptly named Champion Stadium. The 5K, 10K, and kids race runners will find their bibs and t-shirts here. For the support crew that is participating in the cheer squad, you will gear up here. And those of you participating in the race retreat will also find your wristbands and information here. This is the Visa Athletic Center, also formerly known as the J Center or the Jostin Center. Runners in the half and full marathons can pick up their bibs and race t-shirts in this building. Also, if you are participating in the Castaway Key Challenge, you will find your bibs and information there as well. You can find runner relations for the half and full marathons in this building, as well as the Run Disney headquarters, where you can sign up for future special missions like the First Order Challenge. If you picked up a t-shirt in any building and it does not fit, you may bring it to the Visa Athletic Center to have it exchanged. Ladies and gentlemen, that is your briefing for today. Good luck and Godspeed. Okay, there are a couple of other things I want to mention about the Expo. First of all, most of the doors in all of these buildings are one way. You can either get in that way or out another way, but typically not both. This is a mistake I made last year. I ended up walking out of the building and then I had to walk all the way back around to get back in. Also, if you are participating in the Goofy or Dopey challenges, you will have your picture taken with your bib or bibs when you pick them up. Okay, I have said it already and I'm gonna say it again. The Expo is huge. In my experience, and I have seen a lot of races, this is the biggest Expo I have ever seen. It has to manage 5 race events, tens of thousands of runners, plus spectators and their families, merchandise, and a lot of other special considerations. Take your time getting around, but know where you need to be before you get into the Expo. Like I said, the layout is different from 2017, so make sure you know where everything is that you need before going in. Have a plan. Okay, let's talk about transportation. This is probably the most complicated aspect logistically for race organizers. So before I get into talking about specifics of transportation, I just want to ask that you be gracious and patient. The transportation staff, they will be wearing yellow, has to shuffle a fleet of buses across 27,000 acres and miles of road for like 50,000 runners, spectators, plus regular park traffic. Okay, transportation runs from all Walt Disney World Resort hotels, plus the Swan and Dolphin resorts and the Shades of Green resort, to all race venues. That includes the start line, the finish line, and the Expo. The race buses themselves do not run between any of those venues directly to the parks themselves. So if you want to go straight from the race to the park, you do have to go through a hotel first. You do have other transportation options. If you want to use a minivan, you can probably do that. You might be able to use Uber. If you have experience with that, please leave comments in the box below. Tomorrow I will be talking about transportation specific to each race, so please subscribe and come back. Okay, so I've covered the Expo and I've covered transportation, but let's talk about some fun stuff like the virtual goodie bag. As I've said, this is the largest Run Disney event on their circuit, and the sponsors bring their A game. The virtual goodie bag is chock full of special deals. You get discounts on races, including the Star Wars Dark Side Half Marathon weekend, plus nutrition and merchandise. Some of this stuff you can use at the Expo itself, but you might also find that you can have special deals online before you even get to this event. Might be helpful for Christmas shopping. Now briefly, let's talk about the race retreat. That is sold out. The last I checked, the half marathon race retreat was still available for purchase, but everything else is sold out. If you are fortunate enough to participate, there are a lot of great perks with the race retreat. As I said, you get early access on Wednesday to the Run Disney Health and Fitness Expo. You also get special access to the Cigna VIP tent on the half and full race days. Both mornings you receive a continental breakfast, and on the day of the full marathon on Sunday you get a special brunch. You do need a wristband to get into the race retreat areas, and you pick that up at the Expo. Other perks of the race retreat include live runner tracking, special character meets, a private changing changing area and restrooms and massages. Okay, let's talk spectators. Many of us bring family and friends along with us on our racecations, but here's some things for those of you who are spectating any of these races. Make sure you are tracking your family through runner tracking. You can sign up for that at the Expo. You might also be able to have access to that information ahead of time, maybe a week out. Runner tracking comes in the form of text or email alerts. The runner's bib has a tag on it, and every time they cross a timing mat, a text alert goes out with the pace information and approximate finish time. These alerts can update your family and friends on your progress throughout the course. 5K and 10K spectators are limited to the start and finish lines at the Epcot parking lot. There's nowhere along either of these courses to really get in and observe the runners passing by. But for the half and full marathons, there are several spots along the course where you can watch those runners go by. Please check the event guide for specific details on where those points are along the course. If you signed up for Cheer Squad, there are 2 areas that have special access, which you need a wristband for. One of those areas is in Magic Kingdom Park, and the other area is at the Epcot finish line. For further details on getting to those areas and the schedules, please consult the event guide. Okay, I talked about race etiquette in a previous video, but I want to highlight a few things that are specific to Run Disney races. Due to the wide variety of training styles and the huge participant field, please be considerate of how others will participate in this race. If you are using a run-walk interval, please raise your hand every time you slow to a walk. Also, if you are participating with a group, please try to make sure you are only running 2 abreast at most. If you are walking, please move to the right side of the course and indicate that you are doing so. Please keep your eyes and ears open for any alerts or announcements along the course, and please no forward corral hopping. Also, as you are approaching the finisher chute, please try to keep moving forward at all times, especially right as you cross that timing mat. There might be someone coming behind you that's really pushing in that final kick, and please try not to obstruct traffic that's crossing the finish line. Please don't form a human chain with all of your friends across the finish line. Most importantly, guys, this is a big deal. Smile, have fun, encourage other people along the course. Thank everyone, from the spectators to the volunteers, especially the volunteers, and the first responders and medical teams. This is supposed to be fun, remember that. Jeff Galloway's tips are great, but there are a couple of things that I want to point out about them. His first tip, have a mantra. Positive self-talk will definitely get you through the tougher parts of the race, no matter when they happen. Just have some kind of mantra, couple words, that's all you need. Second, the adrenaline of race day will get to you, so try to keep that in mind as you cross the start line. Try not to go out too fast, especially when you have the longer races. Try to slow down, keep your pace in check, even slow it by a couple of minutes per mile just to get you started. Once you've warmed up a little bit, then you can start putting on the gas, but be careful and try to control that adrenaline as you go. Third, once the race starts to heat up above 60 degrees, you will start to notice your pace slow anyway, about 30 seconds per mile slower every 5 degrees above 60. Here's where I disagree with Coach Galloway though. Pouring water over your head does not always help, and if you've been wearing a hat and you're comfortable doing so, then keep doing that. Don't change things up on race day. Pouring water over your head may work, but really what your body needs is for your core to stay cool. I have always found that pouring water around my neck actually cools me down a lot more effectively than pouring it on my head. A lot of times doing that just splashes all over everyone around you, and it doesn't really help you in general. If it works for you, don't stop doing it. I'm just saying that if you haven't done it before, maybe that's not the place to start. His fourth tip is for the run-walk method, and if you've been using that, it's a great thing to read, but if you haven't, ignore it. This is not the time to change up your training or your race plan. Just keep doing what you've been doing. But this is where I'm going to leave you for today. Please remember, come back tomorrow for the course map walkthrough. If you have questions, please leave them in the comments and I may get to them in a future video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you tomorrow.